Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to this third lecture of Applied Thermodynamics. So previously we have conducted two lectures. So first lecture I explained you about the scope of the syllabus of the thermodynamics. In last lecture we have seen some of the properties or the basic terms which are used in the subject of applied thermodynamics. Okay, so today we'll continue that part, basic terms or the basic properties which are used in the thermodynamics, right? Now if I get time or if I get permission from your CC, we'll also see how to use programming for this subject of ATD. So for example, we can use Python and we can do simple coding to solve numericals in the thermodynamics. Okay, so that is the later part for such lectures which are at the end of the day, where students are very fuzzy and they want to go home. We are very aware of that. So we will make good use of this time. We'll start the basics of programming. Then we'll write very simple codes to solve the problems of ATD. Okay. So that will be again added advantage because we know that diploma or DSY students are very afraid of two things. First thing is obviously mathematics. They are very afraid of mathematics. And second thing is programming because they have never exposure of programming languages. Compared to regular students, already C language is covered in first year of their engineering. Obviously in second year, you will have C++. In third year, you will have Python. In last year, there is an optional subject for cyber security. So a lot of options are there if you want to go into IT field. It's not like old days, like when we used to study. Nowadays, you can join IT company from any branch. Those who are there want to first try in the core field, obviously they should try it. But as a second option, they can put for non-core companies also. Okay. So enough campus talk today. We'll start revision and then we can continue. So I hope I am audible to all of you. So somebody put in the chat box. Wait, let me allow. Okay. Somebody put in the chat box that I am audible or I am visible, something like that. Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. So yesterday we started our subject with system and surrounding, right? Just wait. Okay. Yes. Then we have seen three basic terms. Three basic terms here are system, surrounding, and between them there is a boundary. System is the part where you are interested to study. So the boundary can be real or boundary can be imaginary. Surrounding is something where you are not interested to study. Okay. So in system we have three types. First type is closed system where mass transfer cannot take place, but energy transfer may take place, right? So various examples we have seen yesterday, right? Now in closed system, there is a special case called isolated system where neither mass nor energy transfer can take place. So very good example yesterday given by some of you related to isolated system. Later I have given an example of our universe as a whole where mass and energy is conserved. So that also can be called as isolated system. Third is open system where there is an inlet, there is an outlet, mass can come, energy can come, mass can go out, energy can go out. So for example, we can take example of this where mass is coming. So this is typically the example of a compressor, okay, where inlet gas or steam is compressed, its pressure energy is generally increased in this case, right? Now, this was the last part yesterday, intensive properties and extensive properties. Some of you did not understood this concept. Again, I will repeat today. Intensive properties are independent of the mass of the system, right? So, for example, temperature. You measure temperature at any corner or any point in the room. You divide that room. You build up a wall into two parts. Now again, you measure the temperature. Temperature will remain same. It is independent that you divide the system in many parts, right? Or you can take example of density. So if you take a piece of paneer, पनीरचा एक मोठा तुम्ही तुकडा घेतला, त्याचे बारीक बारीक तुकडे केले आणि त्या प्रत्येक तुकड्याची डेन्सिटी काढली तर डेन्सिटी तेवढीच राहणार आहे, राईट? Density is a property, so it is a intensive property. It is independent of the mass. But on the other hand, we have extensive properties which are dependent on the mass of the system. For example, energy. So this room has certain energy into it. If I divide this room, so energy will be divided, right? Another example can be given in this case, right? Of mass, obviously mass, like mass is depending on mass, that is just another word. So like that way, the properties which are dependent on the mass of the system, those are the extensive properties, okay? And the third here, it is specific properties. So whenever divide a property by mass, suppose I have volume, if I divide it by mass of the system, it will become specific volume, okay? Right. Now today we'll go for state and equilibrium. First of all, we study what is state, then we'll see what is equilibrium, okay? So this is very important to know what is a state, what is a process, what is a path, what is a cycle, then we'll see what is equilibrium, etc., etc., okay? Now a system, assume a system not undergoing any change. That means there is no change in the system, right? You can take example of like this room, or you can take example of a vessel containing water. म्हणजे तुम्ही गॅस आहे, गॅस चालू नाही केलाय, राईट? जस्ट तुम्ही गॅस फक्त पातेल्यात पाणी ठेवलं आहे. सो यू कॅन से दॅट दिस इज ऍट सम स्टेट, राईट? त्या पाण्याचं काहीतरी टेम्परेचर असणार आहे. ऑब्विसली रूम टेम्परेचर असेल 30 or 35 डिग्री सेल्सिअस. प्रेशर आहे, atmospheric pressure in that case. So it is at stable condition. It is at one state, we can say. What is the state there? The temperature is 35 degrees Celsius, pressure is 1 bar. So that is the state of the system, right? Once you start the gas and begin the heat transfer from gas, the flames will come. From flames, there will be heat transfer to the water. In that case, what will happen? Temperature will increase, right? After some time, we turn off the gas. What will happen? The temperature has increased, let us say 80 degrees Celsius. Now this is our second state. So first state, it was 35 degrees Celsius. Now the state is 80 degrees Celsius. So state defines the system, okay? If you want to define a system, it can be defined by its state. A state, for state, we can use any property. We can use energy content. We can use temperature, pressure, mass, etc., etc. The set of properties to completely describe the condition of the system is known as its state. So this is a, again, old example. There is a cylinder is there, then there is a piston is there, inside there is a gas is there. Now in state 1, the mass is 2 kg, temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, volume is 1 meter cube, 1 meter cube, okay? Now in state 2, this expansion takes place. So yesterday I told you, these two processes will come in your life again and again, compression and expansion. Whenever there is increase in volume, it is an expansion. Whenever there is a reduction in volume, along with the increase in pressure, so that will be compression. So you can see here, the mass will remain constant, right? So it is a closed system, mass will remain constant. Volume will increase because it is an expansion, and temperature will remain as it is. So in state 2, what is changed? The volume is changed. So state 1 is this, state 2 is this. Okay, so this is very important. Now this point onwards, as a thermal engineer, we will talk in terms of properties, states, etc. Okay. So state has another uses also. Generally आपण म्हणत असतो की what is the state of the mind? तुमची मनाची कंडिशन काय सध्या? What is the state of your heart? Okay, what is the state of your health? What is the state of your life? So like that way also state word is used. So specifically in our subject, state is used like set of properties. Now next term here it is equilibrium. That is a state of balance. Now equilibrium can be achieved in many ways. So there is a mechanical equilibrium where the forces are being balanced. So you might have studied in engineering mechanics that there is a balance of force in a truss or in a beam, right? Then there is a chemical equilibrium, right? When the reaction takes place and all the reactants are converted into products. So they attain a level that is a chemical equilibrium. Again, there is a thermal equilibrium. Okay, what is thermal equilibrium? So, so if I take a hot water, right, in that, or if I take generally a normal water, normal temperature water in a vessel, if I drop a hot ball of metal into it, now what will happen? Heat transfer will take place. The temperature of ball will decrease, temperature of water will increase. After some time, they both will reach a common temperature. So that is a thermal temperature, thermal equilibrium. So in that case, they have achieved same temperature. That means they are at thermal equilibrium. So when all these parts, so when a system is mechanically, chemically, and thermally is in equilibrium, we say that it is under thermodynamic equilibrium. Okay, so the word thermodynamic comes like this. It is a combination of mechanical, chemical, and thermal. So thermal equilibrium, no temperature gradient throughout the system. Gradient means there is no difference in temperatures. Everywhere in the system, temperature is same. Second is mechanical equilibrium, no pressure gradient throughout the system. So everywhere the pressure in the system is same. All the forces are being balanced. Phase equilibrium, system having more than one phase. Okay. So phase equilibrium means you can take, so phase generally means there are three phases: solid, liquid, and gas. So phase equilibrium means if you take example of water, the solid phase is ice, liquid phase is water, and gaseous phase is steam. So whenever, so at let us say 100 degrees Celsius, when water starts boiling, in that case we can see there is a steam also, there is a water also. We can say that it is under phase equilibrium. So system having more than one phase. Mass of each phase in equilibrium. And last is chemical equilibrium. Chemical composition is constant, no reaction occurs. So all the reactants have done the reactions, right? They are converted into products. In that case, they are under chemical equilibrium. So no further reaction is taking place. So whenever all these are in equilibrium combined, we can say system is under thermodynamic equilibrium. Okay, understood up to this point, equilibrium point. So for your better understanding, I will draw a figure here. Let us take example of your seesaw. Okay, बागेत आपण लहानपणी गेल्यानंतर तुम्ही बघितलं असेल अशा प्रकारचे सीसॉ होते, राईट? तर आपण एका बाजूला एक जण बसणार, दुसऱ्या बाजूला एक जण बसणार. या केस मध्ये काय होतं, आता समजा ही फिगर तुम्ही जर घेतली, नाव दिस इज नॉट अंडर इक्विलिब्रियम. व्हाय? बिकॉज देर इज अ इनबॅलन्स ऑफ द फोर्सेस. ह्या केस मध्ये काय झालंय, हितला फोर्स जास्त झालाय आणि हितला फोर्स कमी झाला. ओके, इफ आय टेक अनदर फिगर of the seesaw, let us say the figure is kind of like this. Again this is under imbalance because in this case काय झालंय, इथं फोर्स कमी पडलाय, इथं फोर्स जास्त झालाय. So this is again under imbalance. It is not balanced. Now if I take third example in which this is plane horizontal. Plane horizontal means the force at this end and the force at this end both are equal. So that is means it is under mechanical equilibrium. All the forces are being balanced. This is a very simple example I have given you about the seesaw. We used to play when in our childhood, right? Now that that time has gone, we are playing different games. As a youth, you might be playing volleyball, football, etc., etc. Seesaw was what my favorite in my childhood because it was very good time pass at that time. And just even though opposite person's weight is same as you, by giving a jerk, you can change the balance, right? Okay, right. I hope you understood the concept of equilibrium. Okay. So this is an example of mechanical equilibrium. Same way, what example I have given you previously. So suppose there is a vessel which is containing water, right? Now initially its temperature may be 30 degrees Celsius, which is atmospheric temperature. Okay. Now in that water, there is a very hot metal ball is there, very hot steel ball is there, whose temperature is 80 degrees Celsius. Whose temperature is 80 degrees Celsius. Now I had dropped this ball into this vessel. Now that ball is inside the vessel. Now here initial temperature of water is 30 degrees Celsius, ball temperature is 80 degrees Celsius. What will happen? Heat transfer will take place. And after some time, let us say after 10 minutes, if you measure the temperature of the system, what will the temperature? It will be somewhere between 30 and 80. What will happen in this case? Temperature of ball will decrease and temperature of water will increase, right? So let us say after some time, we will achieve a temperature of 60 degrees Celsius. So that means at 60 degrees Celsius, there is no further rise or decrease in the temperature. The system is under thermal equilibrium. This is example of thermal equilibrium. This is example of mechanical equilibrium. Like that way, chemical equilibrium will be there. So we have seen various reactions, right? The famous reactions like reaction of sulfuric acid, right? Or reaction of hydrogen chloride. In that case, the reaction occurs, exothermic reaction takes place, energy is liberated. After some times, all the reactants are converted into products. So that means the system is under chemical equilibrium or the reaction is complete, we can say. Okay. Right. Next concept here it is in thermodynamics or very basic terms. What we use is path and processes, right? So we have state 1, we have state 2. Now how that system goes from state 1 to state 2, that is called as path. Okay, how it goes from state 1 to state 2 or from state 2 to state 1 back. So that is called as path of the process, right? And process, you can say, if you can take example of chemical reaction, so that will the process. Okay, we'll see with the example with the help of figure. Any change a system undergoes from one equilibrium state to another is known as process, right? So we have state 1, state 2. Any change from state 1 to state 2, that change is called as process. Series of states through which system passes during the process is known as its path, right? So initial temperature in previous case. So previous case, let us take example of this one, right? A hot ball is dropped into the water, cold water. So initially its temperature was 80 degrees Celsius, but gradually its temperature will reduce to 60 degrees Celsius. So state 1 was, or initial state was 80, final state is 60. Now that ball will pass through series of states like 80, 75, 70, 65, and finally 60. So that is the process, and the number of state it has passed, that one can be called as path of the process. So this is better explained in terms of charts. Okay, so such charts will be there throughout your engineering. So especially if you take example of thermal subjects like rack, HMT, IC, or ATD, in this case, such charts will be there, right? So most commonly we have here pressure on ordinate, on abscissa we have volume. In other cases, there will be another chart where there will be temperature on ordinate and there will be entropy on abscissa, right? So such charts will be there. Don't worry. We'll study as time comes. But for now, consider this graph. Here property B is on ordinate, property A is on abscissa. Initially, the system is at state 1. So initially, it is at state 1. State 1 is what? It has lesser amount of B, it has lesser amount of A. Okay. Now, the system starts changing its state. Okay. It changes its state from state 1 to state 2. Okay. State 2, as you can see, it has higher amount of B and A. Now, if I connect all the states occurred during this process, I will get a line like this, and that line is called as path. Okay. So I hope you're understanding. Initially, the system was at state 1. State 1 काय पण असू शकते, म्हणजे pressure 1 bar, temperature 30 degrees Celsius, and state 2 असू शकते, pressure 2 bar and temperature 60 degrees Celsius, right? Temperature and pressure both have increased. So like that way, processes takes place in thermal engineering, and that if you connect all the states, you will obtain a line. That line is nothing but path of the process. Right. So this is another example here given of cylinder and piston. Initially, piston was here. Let us say at the bottom dead center. Initially, and then it starts moving. It starts compressing the air inside the cylinder. It reaches a state 2. So initially this was 1. Now this is 2. Okay. So compression takes place. If I am able to measure all the values along this line, I can also plot this graph. Okay. Right. Now another term here it is quasi-static condition. Well, what is quasi-static condition? So during a process, a state may come where the system is quite balanced. Okay, balance means it neither going forward direction nor it is coming in reverse direction. So we are referring to it as a quasi-static condition. Okay, so processes proceeds in such a manner that system remains infinitesimally close to equilibrium conditions at all times. Okay, a far slow process होते, right? Far slow process होते. असं वाटतं की प्रत्येक पॉइंटला सिस्टम इक्विलिब्रियम मध्ये आहे की काय, right? So it takes place in very small pace. So that is why we are calling it as a quasi-static. Okay, it is known as quasi-static or quasi-equilibrium process. It is very special type of process. Processes take too much time or very much time to change from state 1 to state 2. So that is why it is असं वाटतं बघणाऱ्याला किंवा आपल्याला असं वाटतं की प्रत्येक पॉइंटला इक्विलिब्रियम अचीव झालाय, right? So in this case, the piston is here at time 0 second. Now piston is here at time equal to t1 seconds. So this is a quasi-static process. So whenever it reaches to this point, if you measure at this point, at every this point, you will observe the system is under equilibrium. Okay, that means all the properties in the system are balanced. Okay, another example here it is piston is here at time 0 second, and then there is a piston at time t2 seconds. Now in this case, time t2 is very less than t1. Okay, so because this is very slow process, right? This is a slow process. That is why we feel that every point is under equilibrium. This is a fast process. So that is why it is non-quasi-static process. Okay. Right. Another example in this case I can give you. If you take example of dampers, right? In dampers, what happens whenever we sit on a chair? If it has a dampers, it goes down, right? But when you stand up, in that case, it doesn't suddenly come back to its initial position. that chair will take certain steps to come back to original position. Far slow मध्ये ती chair वर येते. So that process is quasi-static process. Okay. Right. Now in this case, note process path is a continuous line only if it is having quasi-static process. Okay. So we already have seen this graph, right? On ordinate here it is pressure. On abscissa we have volume. Initially it was at state 1 here. It undergoes a process and it changes to state 2. Okay. Now if I plot all the states and combine them, I will achieve this line. This line is path. Okay. And we can achieve a continuous path line only if all the states were quasi-static processes. Okay. Non-quasi-static process is denoted by a dashed line. Okay. So if all the states along this process were non-quasi-static, so that in that case we are denoting it by a dashed line. Okay. That means if the process is fast, we can denote with the help of dashed lines. If the process is very slow, in that case we can denote with the help of a continuous line. Okay. So I hope you are understanding what is the quasi-static and what is non-quasi-static. If the process is taking too much time to go from state 1 to state 2, we can say that it is a quasi-static. In other words, or in technical terms, every state is under equilibrium in that case. If a process is taking at fast pace from state 1 to state 2, we can say that it is a non-quasi-static process. Okay. Now, very interesting part is here. I hope you are with your notebook and pen because I want to draw these diagrams. These diagrams are very, very, very important here. We are going to study some of the processes, right? So there are some processes like isothermal process, isobaric process, isochoric process, isenthalpic process, isentropic process, etc., etc. These processes again will come you up to end of your engineering, right? In your rack also, when you study refrigeration in the last year of your engineering, in that case also you will observe such processes will be repeated number of times. Okay. So we'll see one by one. Now here, this is a chart of PV. We call it as a PV chart. On ordinate, we have pressure. On abscissa, we have volume. Now, this is a state 1. Let us say this process will take this process. Initially, this is at state 2. Final state is state 2. Okay. Now, watch closely what is happening in this case. Now, initially, if you take here, the volume was V1. Okay. Initially, volume was V1. Now, what is the volume at state 2? Let us say that is a V2. Is there any change in the volume? No, the volume remains same. Where is the change taking place? Change is taking place in the pressure. So initially, pressure was P1 and finally the pressure is P2. So pressure is changing, but volume is remaining same. So where you can see such kind of example, can you guess? The volume of the system is remaining same, but pressure changes. Very common example is there. You can easily think of it. It is very household example is there. You can think of it. You can put that into chat box. Yes, any guess? Any guess? Yes, any guess? So the question here it is, those who did not understood, here is one process where the initial volume and final volume of the system remains same, but pressure changes. So where is this example? It is very common example in your house, right? Gas cylinder. Yes, correct. Pressure cooker. Yes, so that is what I was expecting. Well, gas cylinder is also very good example. Pressure cooker, right? In pressure cooker, what is happening? You are putting it on gas. The total volume of the pressure cooker or inside volume remains the same, but slowly the pressure increases. Why the pressure increases? Because there is no escape or there is no scope of expansion for the gases. So as there is no expansion, automatically the pressure increases. So such processes are called as isochoric processes. Isochoric processes means constant volume processes. Now second process is here, okay? In this case, this is state 1, this is state 2. What is happening in this case? If I take volume, so initially let us say this was volume V1, final is this one V2. So volume is changing. But what about pressure? If you take this in horizontal line, initially pressure was P1, final pressure is P2, and both are same. So in this case, what is happening? Pressure is remaining same, but volume changes. Okay, so such processes where pressure is constant in the process, it is called as isobaric process. Okay, so this is one of the MCQs that may be asked. What is the isochoric process? Or in isochoric process, dash, dash, dash. Options will be volume remains constant, pressure remains constant, temperature remains constant, etc., etc. So 4 options will be there. So correct answer is constant volume process. Isochoric is constant volume process. Isobaric is constant pressure process. Okay. Now, how to remember this? So in isobaric, there is a word called bar, and bar is the unit of pressure. So automatically this is related to pressure. Okay. Now next here we have another process. Let us take this one, isothermal process. So we have a chart, temperature versus enthalpy or entropy. Now in this case, what is enthalpy? What is entropy? Let us set it aside because those concepts are yet to be taught. But enthalpy, I can tell you, it is a form of energy. Entropy, again, it is a form of randomness. Okay. So let us take this process. This is state 1. This is state 2. What is happening in this case? So initially, the enthalpy was H1. Finally, the enthalpy is H2. Enthalpy is changing. Okay. But if I plot on temperature chart, initially the temperature was T1. Finally, the temperature was T2. And they both are same, right? Temperature remains constant. So that is why it is called as isothermal process. Okay. So the process where temperature remains constant, that is a isothermal process. Okay. And the last here it is isenthalpic and isentropic process. So you might already guessed it. The process where enthalpy remains constant is called isenthalpic process. And the process where entropy remains constant throughout the process is called as isentropic process. Okay. So you can see here in this example, let us say this is state 1, this is state 2. Only temperature is changing. Temperature changes from T1 to T2. Okay. Now other properties like enthalpy and entropy remain same. So I hope you understood this point. Isochoric, isobaric, isenthalpic, isentropic, and isothermal. Okay. Okay, any doubt? Right. Next and the last concept for today's lecture is cycle. Okay. Now the figure itself, it will explain. We are at, let us say, state 1. Okay. There's a property B versus property A. We are at state 1. Right. Now the system changes its state from state 1 to state 2, and this is its path. Okay. Let us say this is a path A. Now in return journey, let us say again system goes from state 2 to state 1, and this follows a path B. Sorry, path B. Okay. So like this way, the system has completed one cycle. It has gone from state 1 to state 2, again from state 2 to state 1. Now it may follow same path. Okay. In some cases, the system can follow path A for going from 1 to 2. It can follow path A again from 2 to 1. In some cases, it will go by path A and it will return by path B. Okay. So cycle, a system is said to have undergone a cycle if it returns to its original state at the end of the process. Now, where are these cases are being observed? So I will give you example of, let us say example of, this is a spring, right? So whenever you compress the spring, it gets compressed, and once you release the spring, it gets expanded, right? Right. So this is a very regular example. एक spring आहे, spring ला ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही compress करता, it goes from state 2 to state 1. Again, if you release the pressure, it will again go back from state 2 to state 1. So like that way, that process has completed a cycle. Okay. So hence for a cycle, the initial and final states are identical. So this is very important point here. For a cycle, initial and final states are identical. So write it down and draw this diagram. This will clarify your concept. You can also write down the definition. What is a cycle? A system is said to have undergone a cycle if it returns to its original state at the end of the process. Right? For example, you can write example of spring. In spring, you compress the spring. That means it goes from state 1 to state 2. If you release the pressure, it will go back again to its initial state. That is from state 2 to state 1 back. In thermal point of view, again, I will give you the example of same. Let us say this is a vessel which is containing a water, right? Right. And let us say it is on stove. So stove is there. There are some fires are taking place. Initially, let us say its temperature was 30 degrees Celsius. Now after heating, its temperature becomes 60 degrees Celsius, right? So this is path A, right? It has gone from 30 to 60 degrees Celsius. Now you take down the vessel. तुम्ही गरम पाणी काढा, नुसतं दिवसभर बाहेर ठेवून द्या, काय होणार आहे? ऑटोमॅटिकली इट्स टेम्परेचर विल डिक्रीज फ्रॉम 60. रात्रभर तर तुम्ही ठेवलं तर ऑटोमॅटिकली वी कॅन से दॅट इट कॅन गो बॅक फ्रॉम 60 to 30. राइट? पाथ बी. ओके. तो पाथ ए काय होतं? पाथ ए होता हिटिंग विथ द हेल्प ऑफ गॅस. टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज फ्रॉम 30 to 60 डिग्री सेल्सिअस. पाथ बी काय आहे? जस्ट तुम्ही ते गरम पाणी ठेवून दिले ओपन ऍटमॉस्फिअर मध्ये. Because of heat transfer, what will happen? Temperature of hot water again will decrease. Let us say it will go from 60 to back to 30. Now this statement is very important. Hence for a cycle, the initial and final states are identical. So here we can say initially temperature of 30 degrees Celsius, final temperature is also 30 degrees Celsius. But path is different, right? Path A was काय होता? Path A हा होता की आपण गॅसचा वापर केला. पाथ बी मध्ये काय केले आपण? जस्ट ते नॅचरल एन्व्हायरमेंट मध्ये ठेवून दिले. सो दॅट इज वाय दे आर डिफरंट, राईट? आता काय प्रोसेस असे पण असतात. आता हे फार हायपोथेटिकल आहे. सपोज तुम्ही गॅसचा वापर करून पाणी गरम केलं, राईट, आणि बाय सम पॉवर, राईट, इफ यू हॅव सम सुपर पॉवर्स, तुम्ही काय करणार, पाण्यातली एनर्जी बॅक टू गॅसला ट्रान्सफर करणार, त्याचं परत फ्लेम मध्ये रूपांतर होणार, त्याचं रूपांतर परत एलपीजी गॅस मध्ये होणार, राईट. जसं तुम्ही बघितलं असेल अव्हेंजर्स मध्ये डॉक्टर स्ट्रेंज करायची पॉवर असते की तो एखाद्या वस्तूचं डिग्रेडेशन होतं तर टाइम रिव्हर्स करून ती ओरिजिनल गोष्टी तयार करू शकत असतो, राईट. तर त्या प्रकारे जर तुम्ही केलं, सो दॅट इन दॅट केस वी कॅन से दॅट इट हॅज युज्ड अ सेम पाथ in both the cases, right? So I hope you're understanding, right? I hope there are some students here who know Dr. Strange. Dr. Strange कडे ते टाइमचं स्टोन असतं, त्यात तो काय करत असतो, प्रोसेस रिव्हर्स करू शकत असतो, राईट. समजा तुम्ही ऍपल काढून ठेवला तर तो ते टाइम स्टोनने रिव्हर्स करून आहे असा ऍपल परत तयार करू शकत असतो. So in such cases, what is happening? We are going from state 1 to state 2 by path A, and again coming back also by path A. So there are some cases you can use same path for forward and reverse direction. But again, it is very hypothetical. In actual world, it does not happen. That is why it is shown in the movies. Right? And this lays the foundation for next concept, that is reversible and irreversible processes. Reversible process means a process which can be reversed on its own, the way I explained you with the help of time stone, which is not possible in real world. And there is another process which is irreversible. That means we cannot go back to the initial state, reversing the process. Okay. So just I will give you idea, and then we can stop. Okay. Reversal processes that can be reversed without leaving any trace on the surrounding. म्हणजे तुम्ही A to B or 1 to 2 ज्या प्रोसेस जाणार आहे त्याच प्रोसेसने तुम्ही 2 to 1 रिटर्न येणार आहे. ओके. म्हणजे तुम्ही एखाद्या लास्ट एक्झाम्पल मध्ये तुम्हाला जर सांगितलं की एक वेसल ऑफ वॉटर आहे, त्याला तुम्ही हीट केली, कशाने हीट केली, गॅस बर्नरने हीट केली, राईट. नाउ इट हॅज गॉन फ्रॉम स्टेट 1 to state 2. ओके. नाउ इफ यू वांट टू गो बॅक फ्रॉम 2 to 1, in that case by reversible way means what, that heat of the water will again be transferred to the gas and it will be transferred back to the LPG, which is very hypothetical case, but that process will be called as reversible. Okay. A very nearer to the real life example I can give is spring. Spring मध्ये तसं होऊ शकतं. स्प्रिंग मध्ये तुम्ही कॉम्प्रेस करता, right? If you release it, it goes back to its initial position. So it is very nearer to the real life example, but reversal processes are imaginary. They are very important, by the way. Why? Because in that case, you will get maximum efficiency. Okay. So both system and surroundings are returned to their initial states at the end of the process without any trace. म्हणजे ही गोष्ट झालीच नाही असं त्याचा एक अर्थ होतो. This is only possible when net heat and net work exchange between the system and surrounding is zero for the process. म्हणजे तुम्ही हीट दिली पण आणि काढून पण घेतली, राईट. इन दॅट केस टोटल हीट ट्रान्सफर विल बी झिरो. तुम्ही वर्क डन केलं पण आणि वर्क तुमच्यावर झालं पण, सो इन दॅट केस टोटल वर्क डन विल बी झिरो. Yes, another very close to real life example here, it is pendulum. Pendulum मध्ये तुम्ही जर एक्झाम्पल घेतलं, राईट, सो लेट अस से this is a pendulum. Okay. And you are given a little bit tilt to pendulum. So let us say you are given this much angle tilt to the pendulum and you have released it. Now what will happen? Pendulum will start to rotate from this end, let us say, to the this end, right? And it can go for number of days or number of months also, like that, because the friction at the end of this tip, so friction at this point will determine how long the pendulum can swing. Okay. This is again very nearer example to the reversible processes. You have just given a little bit tilt. Now the pendulum will swing for number of days or number of months. Once the friction here So the friction will reduce the power, and ultimately the pendulum will reach to its initial position. Okay. Another example here it is quasi-static compression and expansion. So quasi-static means system is under equilibrium constantly. So as it is under equilibrium constantly, it is leaving no trace on the surrounding, and it can be assumed as a reversible process. So don't worry, in next lecture I will again explain you this thing. Irreversible processes also will see. Most of the processes in the nature are irreversible, like giving a birth to the baby, right? So humans give birth to the babies. We cannot reverse that process. Again, baby cannot go back. So like that way, there are irreversible processes that also will see. Having taken place, they cannot reverse themselves spontaneously and restore the system to its original state. So some things cannot be reversed. Okay, so now you are taken admission for engineering. You are in second year. Now you cannot reverse. So this process is irreversible. Again, there is a this example of hot cup of tea. So you have prepared a tea with the help of flame gas. Now you cannot go back in reverse direction, right? आता चहा तयार झाला, आता तुम्ही परत ते चहातलं साखर वेगळे करून, दूध वेगळं करून, पाणी वेगळं करून हे तुम्ही करू शकत नाही. So that is a irreversible process. So example here it is given as a hot cup of coffee cools down when exposed to surrounding. So that is a irreversible process. म्हणजे गरम चहा तुम्ही जर जरा वेळ ठेवला तर काय होणार, थोड्या वेळाने थंड होणार आहे. What is happening in that case? In that case, heat transfer takes place from hot cup of tea to the surrounding. But warm up by gaining the heat from the surrounding, it is not possible. म्हणजे काय म्हणते, पहिल्या केस मध्ये काय होणार आहे? There will be heat transfer from hot cup of tea to the surrounding. Some heat, let us say capital Q, is lost by T. Now, can you take that heat from surrounding and supply back to the T? Is it possible? So that is the question. So that will decide whether this is reversible or reversible. So what it is saying, तुमच्याकडे कप ऑफ कॉफी आहे, राईट? थोडा वेळ तुम्ही जर उघडे ठेवली तर काय होणार आहे? ती थोड्या वेळ थंड होऊन जाणार आहे. थंड होते म्हणजे काय होतंय? देयर इज अ heat transfer taking place from cup to the surrounding. So the heat loss झाली आता, right? You cannot go into the surrounding. हा इथं लॉस झाली, हा इथं लॉस झाली, सगळीकडनं तुम्ही कलेक्ट केले हीट आणि परत तुम्ही कपला हीट दिले आणि मग ते कपचं परत टेम्परेचर वाढलं. So it is not possible. It is possible only by Dr. Strange. He can reverse the process and he can again increase the temperature of tea or coffee. But in actual, it is not possible. That is why it is a irreversible process. Okay, so in next lecture, we'll see more on reversible and irreversible processes. Irreversible processes are important because they give you maximum efficiency. That is why they are being studied in the thermal engineering, right? So in next lecture, we'll see reversible, irreversible processes. We'll see properties like temperature, right? We'll see properties like pressure. We'll see properties like ideal and real gases also we'll see. Okay. All right. So in next lecture, we'll see properties like temperature, pressure, and then we'll see what is the ideal gas equation. That will be sufficient for the next lecture. So these are just basic concepts I am covering because this will lay the foundation for the subjects or the chapters we will study in upcoming lectures, right? So today what we have seen, today we have seen path and process, right? Path and process. In that we have studied quasi-static and non-quasi-static process. Then we have seen some processes like isochoric, isobaric, isothermal, isenthalpic, isentropic, etc., etc. We have seen a cycle, right? Cycle means the initial and final states are same, but the path can be different. And then we have just started the reversible and irreversible processes. In next lecture, again, we'll see this. Again, I will give you more examples, right? So with this, we'll stop here today. and you can put your roll numbers in the chat box. Just put number, don't write any SB or SA anything, just write number, your roll number in the chat box. Okay, so I will discuss with CC, and if possible, I will take some basic programming classes, or like let us say Python. Then we'll solve the numericals of the ATD with the help of Python, right? So keep that target also in your bucket. You can go with the core companies if you want. You can go with the non-core companies if you want. So choice is yours, right? But my suggestion is always that choose a project, your final project, choose such that it will cover programming also, so that you don't have to prepare separately for campus, right? So start preparing with end. So there is very beautiful book is there, which is called as 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. In that he says that in first chapter only he says that keep your end in your mind. Okay, so your end should be in your mind. तुमचं ग्रॅज्युएशन झाल्यानंतर तुमची स्टेट काय असणार आहे, whether you will have job or whether you will not have job, whether you will be selected somewhere or not, with what will be your percentage in the final year. So that end should be in your mind. तुमच्या माइंड मध्ये तो एंड फिक्स पाहिजे, ती इमेज तुमच्या डोक्यात फिक्स पाहिजे की 4 वर्षांनी, सॉरी 3 वर्षांनी मी कोणत्या पोझिशनला असेल. सो इफ युअर दॅट इमेज इज क्लिअर, ऑटोमॅटिकली थिंग्स विल हॅपन मॅजिकल वेज, right? It's very beautiful book is there, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You can download it or you can purchase it on Amazon, etc. Right, so we'll stop here. Thank you for attending.